Welcome back to the Teacher's Tech Bar. This is the first video in the Data Wrangling 101 series, and we're going to talk about how to use the select function. The select function is going to allow us to take a data set that has 43 variables and shrink it down in this instance to just 3. That 3 can be any number you want, but in this one we're just going to select out 3 variables so we can make that data set a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to see. And again, make sure you've watched the introduction because it's going to give you a sense for what this series is all about, and it's going to give you some information about the data set that we are working with. So I got the data loaded in. I got my library tidyverse. I want to make sure I run that, which I already have, because that's going to allow us to actually use that select function. All right, so let's just take a quick look at this data set. It has 59 observations, and you can see that there are a whole host of variables. In fact, there are 43 that Huddle Assist you recorded for each game. So we want to shrink this down to just include the name variable, the result variable, and the field goal percentage variable. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create something new. So we're going to give that a name. I'm going to say RGVB underscore small because it's going to be a new data frame that's a smaller one. But we have to tell how we're going to create that is we're going to go into that original one we had. And if that doesn't pop up, just make sure you type in the exact name you see over here. And then, which is how you read that, it's technically called a pipe. No pun intended. Pretty awesome connection there. Good girls basketball coach at Rivers' last name is Pipe. That'll be a good way for you to remember what that symbol is called, knowing the connection there. But back to the select function. So we've told the computer, all right, look at this data frame. Now select these variables that we want to choose, which were name, result, and FG underscore per. Now, the biggest key here is to ensure that you spell these variable names exactly as they appear in this top row. Our studio will give you like you saw, will give you a sort of pop-up menu, and if you just press enter, it'll copy that exact name. So I recommend you using that, but you need to make sure the computer's not going to read it if I put in a lowercase n. All right, so just make sure capitalization and spelling are exactly as they appear here. All right. And then let's take a look at the first 10 rows of that by just typing the name in again, and we'll run all of this code. So you can see we have a new data frame that's popped up over here in our global environment, which has 59 observations because we didn't cut out any of the rows. We did cut out the columns. So we now only have 3 variables, and you can see on the bottom left, we have name, result, and field goal percentage. 3 variables, 59 rows. All right, so that's how you use the select function to subset your data by the variables, or in other words, the columns.